everybody, welcome back to Disturbing Kreationz. Today I just want to show the Audi and the B5A4 people what the timing pin is and how it stops the crank. Since I am tearing my engine all the way down, I have the oil pan off here. The engine is upside down. You see the pistons are facing downwards. So I took some WD-40 and I sprayed all over the pistons, and I sprayed all over the inside just to make sure there's lube. Nothing has set in the few days that I've been working on it, and I want to show you what happens. So this is the pin that screws in. So on the driver's side, because remember the engine's upside down, so on the driver's side there's a 10mm here, and I took my 10mm wrench and I took this out, and then I had to play with this for a little bit to get this O-ring out, so that you have this plug. You're not gonna mistake it with something else on the other side. There's only one of these on the whole engine block. So let's put that aside. And now, because of the hole here, you see this will go in there, but it's flat, so we have to look for something that this protrusion will go in. So you see right here, this is how it meets up. So this will hold against this and lock in place, and it won't let the crank move, so that you can get this bolt off or set your timing. So let's go ahead and put it in. So you see on the other side it protrudes through. You can roll it in just a little bit, and now I'm going to line it up for you where the hole is. See if that's about where it's at. No, we gotta go down a little more. Hard to see on camera. Oh, I think I passed it. There it is. Okay, so just kind of wiggle it back and forth until it sets, you know? Try to maybe do it with two hands. There. You don't want to, I don't want to put too much force in this, so I'm just kind of, as I'm twisting it in, I'll show you what I'm doing up front. So I'm just kind of taking this and I'm just wiggling back and forth a little bit, under no pressure, a little bit, just wiggling. I'm not cranking on it, but just so it gets a little snugger, a little more snug in there. And you see, you put it in by hand. You know, you can give it a little tight with the 10 here. You know, if I feel that I'm set, I'm gonna give it a little, and that was it. So I don't want to force it in anymore, but it's in there tight. And now this is a 24mm, but this is a 12. You know, so you can't put a 6 on there regular, you have to have a 12. I don't ever really like using these. I like the 6 for the hex nuts, which is most common, but you actually need a 12 point for this one. And this is to get the crank bolt off to relieve this gear, and then I can take the crank out. Once I take the crank out, I'll be able to get to the rings and bearings and stuff, so I can go ahead and change. I want to do this just real quick class on how to actually use this part on the side here, because I looked all over YouTube for like 4 or 5 months, and before I was even doing the build, for every little thing, and there was nothing with an explanation. So now if you Google how do I use the crank pin, or the crank pin, stop pin, to get my crank bolt off, you can come right to my channel now and find all these little tricks and tips and how to properly use this special tool. So check out my playlist on the Audi B5A4. I'm taking the entire engine down. We've got it almost done. And do you see this contraption? I was just almost doing pull-ups with this motorcycle fork, right? Onto this long ass snap-on half to get this bolt off. I couldn't get it off until I got this in. This is the magic. This will change your life. Don't mess something up, do it right. Oh my God, I wish you guys could see me doing that. Woo! It's off. Let's go, next chapter. So to take off this timing belt pulley right here, it's on there pretty good. So I got a 17 and a long breaker bar to do it because it was on there pretty good, and I cracked it and then just take it off. And then we're trying to get down to the timing cover. So got to get this piece out, and then I showed you guys how to use the brake, this piece, and to get this one out, the bolt to get this piece, because you see that it has to come over the shaft here where the seal is. You can't get the cover out unless you get these two pieces off. So that's very, very important that you do this correctly. So I wanted you guys to see that, you see under here there was a hidden one. So when you put this back up here, you couldn't even see that, right? You can't even see that bolt down there. So you had to get that one and this one down here. So even if you snuck a wrench up in there to get that, you could have never got this, and you would have cracked the timing cover. So pay attention to the video. I'm going to show you exactly how to get this off so you can do it correctly. Now these are all 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pop that up. 7. Did I count that? Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8, and then there's this one. So you have to get this, the 10s, and this. Mine's a 13. Yours could be something else, a 12. Yours could be a 10, but for some reason mine's a 13. And then now we're gonna pull the cover off so we can get the rest of this timing chain out. So after I went and got all the bolts out, and I just grabbed the plate and took it off, you see that seal in there. Every time you take this plate off, you should also pick that seal out. So it only comes out one way. You can't push it out the back. You push it out from the front, out this side, and then tap it back in. But you should replace that. Who wants to put this all the way back together, you know? And then the seal is busted. So usually that seal will come with the timing kit. So you see all the journals where the oil goes through, and then this is the crank shaft, input shaft here, and this is the chain, and then this is the chain guide. So I gotta, when you replace this chain, this gear, and this gear, I don't know if this gear needs replaced, so we're gonna see. But to get in here to replace this chain and this gear, at least, yeah, it wears, I guess you have to replace this as well. Then you have to take all this apart, and this nasty gasket, there's a metal gasket here. It's kind of like a head gasket. It's yeah, get all this off and clean all this out, clean all this gunk, replace this piece. And by taking that off, I took the 3 bolts out of this piece, the oil pump, and just lifted it off because it was connected on the chain here. So as the crank moves, all this does is pump the oil through the engine up to the top of the engine and back down, up to the top of the engine and back down. That's it. It's your oil pump. So if your oil pump goes bad, you got to go through all this to get to this, to get the chain, to change chain. You know? So there it is, the timing cover. And where we're at. So now we're going to take these off, take this out. We can get this journal out, and we're going to start getting the crank out next. Alright, thanks for coming to Disturbing Kreationz. This has been another quick one. Just want to show you where we're at with the B5A4. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Leave us a like and a subscribe. Really helps out the channel.